So our update of Documentum server to 0202 was a success. It took us all of 10 minutes to get everything set up and to run the actual update and have the system up and running again. And that's just in our demo environment where we have one pod instance of the Documentum server. If we had a real production environment where we had multiple pods, it'd be very easy to roll one of those pods over at a time, leaving the extra pods available to serve requests from all the applications who need to access the repository. However, to complete this demo and to show how easy it is to roll back, we have to pretend that some error came up, that a feature or function wasn't accepted. Some sort of change has to be rolled back to something that was acceptable, and that was the 0175 version that had been up and running before we performed the binary swap of the containers. So it's very simple to roll back to a previous revision using Kubernetes and Helm. Let's jump over to our Cloud Shell and walk through that process. Back in the Cloud Shell again. Let's look at the Helm history of our Kubernetes cluster. So here's the Helm history command for our Documentum server that we'd like to roll back. Here are all the revisions since it was first deployed. We have the revision number 1 is the initial install, which was completed. And then as we've done these demos, we've upgraded our Documentum server and rolled it back a number of times. Currently, we're sitting at version 0202, and we like to go to 0175 to provide our users with the accepted version that were accustomed to before we try to implement this demonstration. We can pick any one of the revisions that have been previously existed to roll back to. It's just very easy to pick the first one, which is what we'll do now. Here's the command to roll back our Documentum server to the first revision in the config map. We'll input this and then we'll check out what the pods will be doing. The rollback was a success. The Helm rollback has already picked up the pre-existing revision. It should be a lot faster since the container does not have to be built from the image. There's already a copy existing within the Helm history and the config map for the Helm charts. Let's double check what is going on in our Documentum pods. Here we can see that the new Documentum container of our first revision is being reinstantiated. It's being created, and we'll have to check back in a bit on its progress. As the rollback process continues, let's quickly review this demo. We're pretending something happened during the update that requires an immediate rollback to an accepted version of the container. We use Helm to show the history of the releases for the Documentum server in this cluster. Then we use the Helm rollback command to swap the 202 version for the previous 175 version by going back to the first revision in the history list. Let's check the status of the rollback. There you go. So after 10 minutes, the rollback shows that the Documentum server is up and running and ready for requests. Let's go over to Documentum Administrator and check this out. Here we are back in Documentum Administrator. Just as for the upgrade, we haven't touched anything else except requesting the Helm chart to roll back on the Documentum server pods. Let's see what happens when we connect in to the administrator again. And just like the upgrade process, after the rollback, Documentum Administrator can connect the user back in to the Documentum server without any additional reconnections or restarts of any of the machines. All the connectivity has been reset. The path through the doc broker to the content server has been reestablished. All the configurations have been updated, And as you can see here, the rollback was successful. We are now back at 0175 version of the Documentum server. And we're good to go just as we were before we started this upgrade and rollback demo. Hopefully we're able to demonstrate the ease of upgrading rollback with a focus on reducing the administration costs, reducing the risks, and establishing a pipeline for the continuous improvement of the quality of the solution. Thank you for taking the time to attend this session. Please check back often for the latest updates of Documentum in the cloud.